Hi friends, welcome to yet another video. Today we'd be talking about when does a delay in marriage turn into a denial in a horoscope. Before that, please like, share and subscribe to keep receiving good quality content. In our previous video, we discussed how Saturn plays an important role in delay in marriage. We also discussed on Mars's role in delay. In this video, we'll discuss the role of Rahu Ketu in delay and also few other combinations, then move to what causes denial. Let us now dive deep into a chart and see what causes denial. I'm choosing the first house or the Lagna house, the ascendant, to be Sagittarius, and from the first house, the 12th house happens to be Scorpio. Some people say that Ketu in a 12th house signifies a sannyasi yoga, which means Ketu is the moksha karaka. But this is totally not completely correct. Liberation does not always demand no marriage. Liberation can happen even to married people. So, this combination alone wouldn't state that there would be a denial in the marriage. However, it could have tendencies of detachment not only towards married life but towards material life in general. Sometimes this combination can act otherwise too. Instead of detachment in material life, Ketu in the 12th house can show detachment towards intimacy alone, or it can show that a person will prepare a lot or go through that kind of a hardship in their material life that would eventually towards the end of their life want a next life that would make them feel like having the following life that would train them to attain liberation. Suppose Ketu is in the 7th house. This may signify that one may not be very interested in marriage, especially intimacy or in their spouse, or they may be slightly detached to the spouse. But this alone too doesn't say denial in the marriage. Whether you desire for a marriage or not, what may externally deny marriage happens to be the question for a lot of people, because denial simply means it's not talking about your desires alone. Whether you want marriage or no marriage, there can be obstacles in the marriage, and that can cause to have delayed marriages and denial in marriages. So let us discuss one more combination where if Ketu is in the 8th house, 8th house is the house of obstacles, and Ketu is a planet of separation. So technically speaking, Ketu in the 8th house will not only not deny the marriage, but sometimes it can work in opposite ways, where one may be very marriage oriented and would strongly want a marriage and might go against the grain to get married, because Ketu is the house of Mangalya Sthana again. So this becomes very tricky because Ketu separates one from having Mangalya Bhagya, but it also can simply signify that it may act in a different way, where it is not acting upon somebody's Mangalya Bhagya, but it is in fact acting in other parts of life where the gains that a person had to get suddenly, they might not get easily in some other area of life, or they might not have that many obstacles, because Ketu signifies separation and 8th house signifies obstacles. So this result can in isolation translate into so many variety of results, and this combination alone doesn't deny marriage. So what does deny marriage? See, the strong point here to consider when it comes to marriage houses, if there's too many afflictions, that can show denial in the marriage. For example, if there's Ketu in the 8th house, Ketu is a malefic, Saturn in the 2nd house, aspecting Ketu. So, say Saturn is here. So, there's affliction to 2nd house, which is the house of domestic life. And then there is Ketu in the 8th house, and they're aspecting each other. So naturally there would be Rahu here again in the 2nd house. So the severe affliction to your 2nd house. So Saturn and Rahu, Ketu, or Rahu in the 1st house and Ketu in the 7th. And Saturn here aspecting the 8th house. So there's Mars in the 8th house, Ketu in the 7th house, Saturn in the 2nd house. The severe affliction here. The 7th Lord Mercury conjoins Saturn in the 2nd house, or perhaps is in the 12th house in a Dusthana, in the house of separation. These kinds of combinations can show tendencies for very late marriage or a lot of challenges and obstacles to enter marriage. But it totally doesn't show absolute denial. In reality, what does deny marriage? I'll be very honest. Denial of marriage is not because of the horoscope. Delay may be. Denial is simply that when the horoscope shows delay and there's natural delay in the marriage, the person becomes equally picky by nature, very choosy by nature, and they're not ready to make compromises. They're using excuses to find the perfect partner. They're finding excuses to push marriage, or they are having their own fears because of which they are not getting married. And in practical life, when people keep pushing marriage with one or the other excuse, or when the obstacles come their way, they don't try to fix the obstacles to the best possible way or try to overcome it to get married and go that extra mile or that extra 10 miles to get married. These things deny marriage, not the horoscope by itself. But yes, if the severe afflictions, challenges would be very great, but how you deal with those challenges to come over it is what defines whether a horoscope has a delayed marriage or denied marriage. Hope this video was useful.